Good morning, everyone. Here today, we're on step 7. So, tune in. You know the routine off camera, y'all. Hold on. No other noise. No, I'm not. Okay, guys. For step 7, the 7th step is where we make the change in our attitude, which permits us with humility as our guide to move out from ourselves toward others and toward God. The whole emphasis of this step 7 is humility. The 7th step is about getting rid of character defects and replacing them by practicing humility and spiritual principles. Working on the 7th step requires constant thoughtfulness and commitment to being honest, courageous, and humble. Humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings when working on steps 4 and 5. We discovered our assets and our shortcomings with step 6. We became prepared to deal with these qualities so that step 7, we could be ready to act. So here's the thing, quitting alcohol and drugs is a big change. I think you know this by now. Moving into step 7 actually involves us in the personal change of actively letting go of our shortcomings, actions, and feelings that are liabilities. This change requires effort and action. Simply asking for your shortcomings to be removed does not automatically make them go away. It is up to you to be aware and make new choices. Many people in recovery find comfort that their higher power can and does remove their character defects, shortcomings when asked. While working on the previous 6 steps, you've been stripping away age old layers of denial, ego, self centeredness, and other liabilities that consumed you when you were active in your disease. When we arrive at step 7, we are ready to stop thinking so much about what we are going to get in life and start looking at what and how we could contribute to others in the world. In my experience, higher power has never left me empty handed. I have lost, has been, everything I have lost has been replaced with something better. I was asked to put down the drink or drugs because my higher power wanted me to pick up something greater. This is humility to me. Step 7 in humility, the misunderstood virtue. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtue confessions. When it comes to working your 7th step, the quality of humility really breaks down to having a reasonable perspective of yourself. It is quite simply seeing the truth of your life and your place in the world. In NA terms, it is the practice art of being right sized when you humbly ask your higher power to remove your shortcomings. You are recognizing that you are neither too big nor too small. Gone is your self entitlement or grandiosity, as in your shame, regrets, or unworthiness. You're actually already taking your very first act toward humility. By admitting your powerlessness and unmanageability, typically when practicing step 7, recovering addicts realize that humility is not a state of being in despair or groveling, but a state of peace, serenity, and acceptance of life on life terms. In the 12 steps and 12 tradition, it is stated the attainment of greater humility is the foundation principle of each of NA 12 steps. The 7th step of NA is ongoing opportunity for us to embrace the pursuit of humility as a fundamental aspect of staying sober. Wishing it does not make it so. Step 7, you put into action. Taking action means work. I know, I'm on the video. I know most of us are averse to the word. But the kind of work I'm talking about here has nothing to do with punching in a true in a time card and suffering through 8 hours. Our work on the steps in a program simply means using our energy to be disciplined, hit the keys, and committed in the pursuit of our goal of long term sobriety and recovery. It takes work to stand up for ourselves, to be patient, or to accept the emotional discomfort of new behaviors. Catching ourselves in our relationship and changing our reaction takes work. The more familiar you become with your shortcomings, the more you start to notice this feels familiar. I better stop and pay attention to this. Whenever a reaction feels involuntary, it's probably something that needs change. The great news is that when practicing humility in step 7, you really gain a sense of your own humanity and the ability to have compassion for yourself and for others. We are all in this together, and we are all the same. Putting step 7 into action means, for example, when you consciously gather the courage to say no to the request of a friend who tries to quit or shame into saying yes, you are actually working your program of recovery. When you set a boundary, pause when agitated, practice restraint of tongue and open. This practice This is a huge one for long term peace. Choosing not to interact with people, places, and things that trigger you. You are working one step 7. You are working on step 7. Getting right side. Step 7 questions and actions. Part of getting right side in step 7 means making changes with the activity of our mind in addition to accepting and expressing our emotions. We learn to gradually bring the different parts of ourselves into healthy balance as we practice new living skills. For some people, a daily dose of prayer, meditation, and affirmation is very useful. Here are some questions to help guide you through step 7. We what? How has my understanding of my higher power grown? How have the previous 6 steps prepared me for step 7? How does being aware of my own humility help when working the 7th step? How do I plan to ask a God of my understanding or higher power to remove my shortcomings? Don't come this way. Oh man, excuse me. Humility help me working the 7th step. How do I play, plan to ask a God of my understanding or higher power to remove my shortcomings? How does this spiritual principle of surrender work for me in step 7? Am I comfortable with prayer and meditation, even if it means making up my own? Has my sense of perspective or reality been out of proportion lately? Have there been times when I have been able to stop from acting on a character defect and practice a spiritual principle instead? Are there any shortcomings that have been removed from my life or at least diminished in their power over me? You can also use affirmations. Here are some suggestions. I accept all of me, the good and bad. Today, I will develop an asset and release one shortcoming. Step 7 prayer is a great way to right size your day. My creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now me remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Moving forward, we cannot tell what may happen to us in the strange medley of life, but we can decide what happens in us, how we can take it, what needs what we do with it, and that is what really counts in the end. When practicing our seventh step, we are exercising our freedom from addiction by developing our asset, discarding defects, and making new choices. Step seven, prime of the much example example of the much used 12-step adage process, not perfection. Humility asking that your shortcoming be removed is not a guarantee of our shortcomings. Will stick with us despite our best efforts, and plenty are returned free of charge anytime we choose to re engage with them. We can measure our progress and recovery in relation to who we have been while using, instead of measuring ourselves against other people, we can take stock of our own journey, acknowledge our strengths, and use them with humility, seeking only for an honest way of living. In a sober reality, deep and lasting change comes slowly, and no one lets go of shortcomings all at once. However, they do disappear as we become aware of them and take action, one act at a time, one day at a time. Remember, the spiritual principles meet us at our point of action. So while we cannot control the course of life, we can control each and every spiritual move we make. So go to it and get to work. You need help with addiction? Call 1-888-535-2133. And those were the messages for step seven. And as you stay and get involved, and do this for yourself. You can do this for no one else. You begin to letting go, having friendliness. You begin to go with the flow, and sometimes it's necessarily necessary to be silent to listen for God's answers. And others have the courage to do what you need to do in order to change and make things happen for the better. It doesn't mean that we won't have experiences. It's how you deal with them that matters. Honesty, mindedness, willingness, courage, strength, how we project ourselves onto others, and how we allow others to project themselves on us. The inner voice. Get in contact with your intuition so you can hear the inner voice. Be totally one with yourself and others. Okay, those were the messages that I shuffled. Let's see what love and light messages we have. It says, shine your light. Spirit animal. Thank you, Animal Kingdom, for blessing my path with love. As you gradually begin to show love and receive love. Here's that inner voice again. As you'll begin to have discernment. Express your creativity, excuse me. study and learning is the only way. It means you have to read it. There's a saying that says if you don't pick it up, it won't get in. Clear your vibes. Honor your feelings. So now we'll have be you, do you, for you. These are all affirmation cards, guys, to help lift one's spirit and courage. I do not worry about things I cannot control. Whatever I choose to believe comes true for me. I am surrounded by love and support. Another love yourself deck. I am my own unique self. Everyone is unique and different. If we are like other people, then we are not expressing our specialness. I express gratitude to the universe, knowing that my thoughts are heard and appreciated. I am grateful for all the wonderful things in my world. I rise above all limitations. When I am ready to make positive changes in my life, I attract whatever I need to help me. Okay. I am strong, beautiful, and worthy. I choose today to rest in those truths. Oh my God. Faith over fear. Okay, that is the message from those cards. I have a few more. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. It's good to do uncomfortable things. It weight it's weight training for life. Keep your eyes on the stars, but remember to keep your feet on the ground. That one always comes out. I am not a has been. I am a will be. Thank you guys for the messages. I'll see you tomorrow as we move on to step 8. Peace and blessings. Send love and light. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.